Here's what you need to know right up front. The idea of a brain trust, a personal board of directors, it's not some modern business fad. Nope. It's a super old principle that in its current form is driving literally trillions of dollars in the global economy.
Take a look at this number, $9 trillion. That's the combined annual revenue of companies led by members of just one of these modern brain trusts, an organization called YPO. I mean, it's just a staggering figure.
But here's where it gets really fascinating. What on earth does this multi-trillion-dollar network have to do with one of America's founding fathers? Okay, let's get into it.
Welcome to the MoniLytics channel, where money meets research.
So today we're going to break down how the most successful leaders out there use what's basically a personal board of directors. It's all built on this one core idea, that your social capital, well, that's often what you need before you can build financial capital.
It really all comes down to this one simple truth. Nobody, and I mean nobody, no matter how much of a genius they are, builds real wealth or creates lasting change all by themselves. It just doesn't happen that way.
And maybe the best example of this, well, it started almost 300 years ago in Philadelphia. It was a kind of secret club for mutual improvement, and it was started by a young Benjamin Franklin.
He called it the Junto. It was also known as the Leather Apron Club. And the concept was, well, it was simple but totally revolutionary for its time. He just brought together 12 ambitious tradesmen and artisans to help each other out, and by doing that, they'd end up helping the whole community.
Now, their meetings weren't just casual chats. They had a whole framework for vetting and de-risking ideas. First, they discussed politics and business. Then, they'd all work together to solve problems that any one member was facing. And then, this is the crucial part, they'd brainstorm ways to actually improve society. This was pure review and collective intelligence in its absolute purest form.
And this is what shows the real power of the model. The Junto wasn't just a talking shop, not at all. It was an engine for getting things done. Out of these meetings came Philadelphia's very first public library, its first volunteer fire department, and even the ideas that would become the University of Pennsylvania and the American Philosophical Society. Incredible.
Okay, so let's jump forward in time. How do we get from that one small room in Philadelphia to the global trillion-dollar networks we see today?
Well, you can pretty much draw a straight line from Franklin's club back in 1727 to what we now call executive peer advisory groups, or EPAGs. The two biggest players you see today, YPO and Vistage, they were both founded in the 1950s, and now this idea is a massive global phenomenon.
To really get your head around the scale of this, let's just look at YPO's numbers. Today, it has grown to over 29,000 members.
And these aren't just a few local chapters we're talking about. Those members are spread out across more than 130 countries. It's a truly global network of influence and, shared expertise. And that global network, that's how we get back to that $9 trillion in annual revenue we saw at the start. The key takeaway here is that Franklin's humble little club has evolved into a global economic force.
Now, what's really interesting is when you compare them. While that YPO revenue number is all about massive scale, check out Vistage. A study found that its members' companies grew 2.2 times faster than the average U.S. business. That points directly to a real tangible return on investment from this kind of social capital.
And the impact on individual people is just transformative. Take Charles Housen. He saw his company grow from around $12 million to $125 million while he was in YPO. And he says it flat out. He credits the peer group for giving him the confidence and the know-how to make that happen.
So why does this work so well? I mean, what's the secret sauce? Why does putting a dozen smart, driven people in a room together consistently lead to such powerful results? Well, it really just comes down to a simple contrast.
So on one side, you've got the lone executive. They're working with a limited perspective, often feeling isolated, and they can easily fall into an echo chamber. But on the other side, the peer advisory model gives you collective intelligence, a totally confidential place for honest feedback, and accountability from people who've actually been in your shoes.
When you look at why people join and stay in these groups, the same things pop up again and again. It's a powerful way to deal with that intense loneliness you feel at the top. It's a sounding board of peers who aren't on your payroll, so you know their feedback is unbiased. And so often, a personal breakthrough you have in the group leads directly to professional growth. And that's a dynamic that works for everyone, not just CEOs.
And you can see it right here in the data. Yeah, expanding your network and learning from others are huge drivers. But look deeper. A lot of that is just a symptom of that fundamental need to break out of isolation. Leaders join because they need a group of peers who actually get the unique pressures they're dealing with every single day.
Which of course brings us to the final and most critical question. This whole idea of using a peer advisory group isn't just for CEOs of giant companies. Not at all. It's a strategy that anyone can use if they're serious about growth. So think about it, formally or informally, who is on your personal board of directors?
If you found this research valuable, please like the video, subscribe to MoniLytics, and check out the affiliate links in the description to support the channel.
And definitely stay tuned for our next deep dive. We'll be shifting our focus to Franklin's landmark work, The Way to Wealth, and we'll look at how these very same ideas of social capital and mutual improvement help lay the groundwork for the financial independence of the United States.